And like Luis says, it's hard to change these players. We know they know what to do. We know how good they are. But you just saw today how much maybe he didn't trust in those behind them and he wanted to rely on them, because this lineup that we're seeing today, I mean, Vallejo, for example, hadn't started in almost 3 years.
Yeah, and so opportunities for guys like Ceballos, Camavinga, Mariano, Rodrigo, Marcelo, so on and so forth. It was, as we described it earlier, an eclectic mix for Real Madrid. But that was necessary in the eyes of Carlo Ancelotti to provide the energy that you wanted today against Espanyol. And also because you're looking ahead to Manchester City. And in managing those players, Modric, Casemiro, and Kroos, you have to be able to trust the judgment of the players. And the players have to be able to trust the judgment of the manager. And you only develop that trust through communication. And what I think has been very clear here with Carlo Ancelotti as he came into Real Madrid was he leaned very heavily on those very experienced guys and said, okay, listen, guys, I'm not going to influence the way in which you play the game. You know yourselves very well. But I need you, with honesty, with trust, to believe in what I'm doing. And I also need you to communicate with me clearly. How are you? What do you need from me in order for you to be successful? What do you need in terms of a platform for us to be able to communicate clearly what the ideas are to the younger guys, and for the older guys to be able to say, I am comfortable playing this role. This is what I want you to do, and how can you do that at your highest level? Again, communication and trust at this level, it is so very important. And at times, I think even more important than the tactical approach that you take to the game, because you're handling big personalities, big egos at a big club with a lot of pressure. So you need to have a human side to you that players can relate to. And it was clear to see in the celebrations that these players related to Carlo Ancelotti, and the human connection is always there.
I think to add to Ali's points there, I agree with him 100%. I don't usually give directors of football or presidents or whatever they call themselves credit. But the fact that they brought Ancelotti in was a masterstroke. You know, they could have gone for a young up-and-coming guy who was all bluster and wanted things done. And all those things that Ali was talking about wouldn't have happened, because this young up-and-coming guy would have taken over. Or even an experienced guy like a Mourinho who probably wouldn't have listened to them. The appointment of this guy was perfect for the group of players they had, for the position they were in. The appointment was absolutely spot on. And this wouldn't have happened if they hadn't brought in Ancelotti. That's an absolute certainty.
It's perfect timing, where Ancelotti was in his career and where this group of players were coming into the season. And it's a match that, as Stevie puts it, was a master stroke. And I think what I've seen from Ancelotti this season, in press conferences in particular, is how sincere, honest, open, without any sort of agenda, without selling himself, without exposing his players, how he's been willing to take all the pressure and all the criticism and whatever questions there were, deflect those questions, and whatever praise there was, he gave to the players. It wasn't about him, it was about the players. And if you're sitting in that locker room and you hear this guy week in and week out talk about you in the terms that he speaks of his team and his players, man, the next time you're out there on the field, you can't wait. You can't wait to perform for this guy, because you can't wait to repay for the trust and the communication. The human connection and human relation between managers and players cannot be understated. It is a critical part to success, because we're talking about humans. We are talking about people that have feelings. And even at the highest level, sometimes somebody needs an arm around their shoulder. Sometimes somebody needs a spanking in the backside. Sometimes somebody needs to get on each other's face. The recognition of those moments, obviously, clearly, was spot on from Carlo Ancelotti, and the players responded to it.
Yeah, and success once again in his second stint here as manager of Real Madrid, Luis. They can't let him go this time, can they?
They shouldn't. And I'm not expecting them to let him go. I think that the future comes with Ancelotti on his end. I'm totally sure that after, it doesn't matter what is going to happen in the midweek game against Manchester City, after winning the Super Cup, after winning LaLiga, and showing the strength and consistency that the team has been showing during the whole season, I could see Ancelotti staying for more than 1 year, and they are going to try to build a team around his preferences, what he needs, what he felt that he was short in the whole season. I needed a little bit more here, a little bit more that, and I'm totally sure that Florentino is going to be there to try to provide the players he's going to need for next season to try to compete in every single competition once again. Because we cannot forget, Real Madrid is not only a one-time winner of La Liga or of Champions League. They need to compete, to perform every single week in and week out for every single trophy.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.